The B Plus Recap Countdown.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's B Plus back with yet another recap countdown video. Thank you so much for being here with me. As always, I have a great one prepared for you here today. We're going to be taking a look at J Monty's latest EP entitled Free Me. Now, two things before I go ahead and get started. Number one, I do realize that this project came out like in the spring of 2021, and I'm just now getting around to doing a recap countdown video of it. Apologies for that. And number two, I do want to bring up the point that this is an EP, and normally it's a lot harder to kind of follow my 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 format when I'm covering an EP, just because it's less to choose from. But in this case, it's J Monty. It's chock full of a lot of great content, a lot of good music. It was very vulnerable on this project, so I had no problem pulling in enough content just to do this recap countdown video. So if this is your first time checking out a recap countdown video, really quickly, here's what I do. I take a look at my 5 favorite bars, my 4 favorite beats, my 3 favorite tracks, my 2 favorite features, and I'll round everything out with one final recap. Now, without any further ado, let's get into this review.
5 bars.
Back on the go for all of y'all who thought it was over. Blocking the road, the roadblock, stopping the chauffeur. Follow the flow, I won't stop knocking them over. Lo and behold, I'm the prodigal soldier. Go for the gold, I was caught in the free die. When you talk, it's like the truth go missing. God be steady speaking out, but you don't listen. Y'all don't talk about the crucifixion, yet you out here wondering why your crew so fiction. I admit it, okay. My cousin got locked up for murder. The system took years to find out he ain't do it. Or maybe the whole time they knew he ain't do it. And they just saw another black boy they could screw with. Then they tried to lock up my brother, Lil Wooda. You would know he was innocent if only you knew him. So when they ask me why I attack these bars, cause I almost lost my whole family to him. The church that made it. But now you see the progression and wanna sit in my section with worship when every dinner was rhyming. I ain't here to make no impression, I'm here to make my collection. My heavenly bank account look like Roddy Riches. Pay me what I work like Scottie Pippen. I've been feeling like a weekday. I've been turning to it, here's some money. Can I see my kids once or twice a week, dad? Wish I could be a complete dad. Really wish I could be a belief dad. Really wish I could be at the games, picture frame hanging in my office suite, dad.
Now, those of you that are fans of J Monty, you know that it's virtually impossible to pick your 5 favorite bars off of any work of art that he puts out, but I did the best that I could, and this is what I came up with. Number 5, I really enjoyed the Prodigal Soldier part that he had on the Paint the Truth song. Moving on, I really like the bar, the crucifixion on More Than I Can Bear. That was just a bar, I really enjoyed that. Now, moving on to Southside Sorrow, like that particular line really hit hard, just because unfortunately for me and my family, we know firsthand just how a police department can cover up and how they can misuse their power in a case that's happened like in the past 10 years in my family's life. So that one hits particularly very hard for me. Moving on to the next on Born Stunner, I really enjoyed that just because I just got done watching, or rewatching I should say, The Last Dance, the documentary that the ESPN did on Michael Jordan's, on their last run, on the Chicago Bulls I should say, last run. And so I really like that Scottie Pippen line. And then around everything out, I could have picked any bar from the Free Me song, but I decided to go when he was very open about the father that he wants to be versus the father that he is now, and how he has to work through that. And I also really liked how he kind of gave a shout out to Belief, the rapper, the YouTube sensation, probably my favorite, or one of my favorite YouTube creators. He gave a shout out to Belief. Like I said, those are just 5 of my favorite bars. Let's go ahead and hop over to my 4 favorite beats.
4 beats.
Ain't the truth for my soul, yeah. Ain't the truth for my soul, yeah. Ain't the truth for my soul, yeah.
Every time I call on Jesus' name,
Ain't the truth for my soul,
so glad I made it out. So glad I made it out.
Yeah, back on the go, it ain't no stopping the chosen. I rose from the smoke, I'm covered in roses. I woke up.
I'm so free, God, I got the holy key. Oh yeah, I'm so free, God, I know they won't agree, but I don't really care if they're aware. I just put a prayer up in the air. He won't give me more than I can bear. Yeah. I'm so free, God.
I won't let you fall.
Point stunner, ask my mother. Check out my estate, this a late night come up. Heaven with the color, never find another. I was in the cage for the last 8 summers. Natural born stunner, ask my mother. Check out my estate, this a late night come up. Heaven with the color, never find another. I was in the cage for the last 8 summers. Had to break some. You know, this ain't just my car, this where I sleep, bro. Won't you come back in a week or so? Don't leave me out here in the freezing cold. Hey, Mr. Rebo, this ain't just my car, this where I sleep, bro. Won't you come back in a week or so? Don't leave me out here.
Now, one of the things I really enjoy about doing these recap countdown videos is I always learn something by kind of doing a little bit of research on the projects. Now, on this particular project, I learned that this entire project was produced by only one producer, and that producer goes by the name of Vicodin. And I was kind of shocked to find this out just because I felt like the variety of the album, the beat variety on the album was very good, and I was expecting to see different producers from track to track, but nope, it was all Vicodin. Now on Paint the Truth, I really enjoyed the piano on there, the organ on there. It kind of gave that song kind of like a gospel feel to it. Really enjoyed that. Moving on, I really loved the horns on More Than I Can Bear, and also once again had a little bit of like a gospel feel to it as well. Now when it came down to my favorite beat, I couldn't decide between Mr. Repo or Born Stunner. I think I like the 808 on both of those songs, but I think the very subtle sample on Mr. Repo put that one over the top, so that was my favorite beat on the project. Now let's move on to my 3 favorite tracks on this project.
3 favorites.
I was crying in the sheet, I was eating out the can. Had some numbers to delete, cause I thought that you would fail. It took some losses for me to accomplish. Now I know defeat was just for me to stand. Southside sorrow left me broken, trying to get control of my emotions. Bottom of the bottle like the ocean, drowning, and I wonder if they notice I'm still a man. The world keep turning like the ceiling fan. Monty had to learn how to kneel to stand. I just ask God for a healing hand. Reveal your plan. If I go out on a limb, then you better amputate my pay stub. Yeah, I walk in faith, but I never walk with fake ones. Back out, they let me back out. I remember all I wanted was them to free a G. Dreaming that when I put the track out, they'll get the plaque out. They'll get the plaque out like the dentist in between my teeth. When everybody took the fast route so they could cash out, I took the scenic just to get a different scenery. But when it's time to put the facts out, ain't nothing to lap out. My heart so cold, I got so cold, I made a demon fleet. Now they wanna meet with me, trust me, you can hang with me. But I know I'ma die alone when it's my time to go. You can't share my grave with me. And when I get to heaven and my Lord and Savior ask me where all my achievements at, none of y'all gonna be standing by my side just for me to point a finger at. I cut everybody off on my path to freedom, just to find that whole time I was the only one I needed to be free from. So when everybody finally left, I looked in the mirror and I could only see me. I blamed myself for the first time, and that's when I finally saw the free me. Free me.
Okay, so there goes my top 3 favorite tracks off of J Monty's Free Me. Now, starting off with number 3, I really enjoyed Southside Sorrow, like I said before. It really set the tone for just how vulnerable and how real this project was going to be, and also just let you know up front that this was a hard thing that J Monty went through, but his faith was there, and it was his rock as he went through everything that he went through. Now, moving on to number 2, a little bit more lighter, Born Stunner. That's probably like my workout song. When I get done nursing this bum Achilles, when I start getting back out on the basketball court, this is definitely going to be one of those songs that I turn on before I go hoop. Moving on to my favorite song on the entire project. But actually, before I say that, about Born Stunner, I can probably pick my 5 favorite bars just off of that song alone. Like, that's a really, really tough song. So now moving on to number 1, my favorite song on this project, probably low-key one of my favorite songs of the year, regardless of genre, regardless of anything. Really enjoyed it just because it's one of those testimony tracks. I have a whole playlist of a lot of CHH artists, of them sharing their testimonies throughout their walk with the Lord, and this is top of the list. This is a very, very powerful song. It takes a lot of courage just to write this song for yourself, but then to just share it with other people. I just thought it was just brilliant. Okay, now with that being said, let's go ahead and hop over to my 2 favorite features off of this project.
2 features.
He spoke, set it in motion. I was low, I was broke, down and broken. Yeah. Now we on the road, roller coasting. I was off the dope, overdosing, till I sent the divine my devotion. Jesus, I'm surrounded by evils, devils and divas. I summon preachers to pray for my weakness. Sunday service, yeah, sermons for seasons. In the upside down with the spiritual, stranger things I found. It's bloody waters, watch how you might drown or see a miracle. When you've been through hell, it put fear in you.
Just to sleep inside, sometimes we said the car was better. Half of a semester in the trenches, it was wicked. I was selling spinach instead of dressing for the millions. Went home for forgiveness and they blessed me, now I'm winning. 500 assists when you special, they can feel it. I can't lose my mind trying to be hero. I was mailing shoes just a kid before. I was packing clothes like a kid, though. Pillow in the back seat, I see his life fly.
Okay, now there goes my 2 favorite features off of Jay Monty's Free Me. Number 2, I gave it to Ty Brazel. I really just enjoyed his flow on this gospel vibe track. And I'm starting to really pick up this connection, this nice collaboration between Ty Brazel and Jay Monty. If you remember last year, Ty Brazel had Jay Monty on his project on the track called I'm Grateful. Really dope track, and this one is just like that. And for my first favorite feature, I have to give it to Paris. Now, every single time Paris is on a project as a feature artist, I automatically know it's going to be dope. It just doesn't matter what style you put in front of Paris. He's going to eat it up. He's going to have a dope verse. I think I mentioned that on a previous recap countdown. I just didn't give it to him just because I had to keep putting him on there, and I got tired of putting him on there. So, but Paris gets the nod on here for Mr. Repo. He definitely did his thing on it now. Now coming up, my one final recap.
1. Recap.
Okay, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this recap countdown thus far. Now, I said earlier in this video that this album came out months and months ago. I was all lined up and ready to do a recap countdown when this album came out, but then the project just kind of vanished. It wasn't on Spotify. You couldn't buy it on Apple Music. It just kind of poofed and it was gone. So my guess is that it was probably due to some of the ongoing struggles between himself and also Sony, but don't quote me on that. I am not breaking any news. This is not that type of show. But if you are interested in the story of Jay Monty and everything that he went through, you can make sure you go over to Ruslan's YouTube channel. They had a great interview together about a couple of months ago and really talked about the ins and outs of everything that went on with Sony. Now, it is my opinion that Jay Monty is one of the most talented rappers in the Christian hip hop space. It's almost intimidating to do an album review, to try to cover any of his work, just because he is just that talented. It's going to make you feel like you're not doing the album justice, or you're going to leave something out just because you know the album is just that profound. But with that being said, I do want to bring up one thing that he said. He didn't rap, but something that he said at the end of the Free Me track. I just thought it was spot on. It's something that that really spoke to me, and things that I had to do in my life as well when I had to overcome the me inside of me that's not just kind of holding me back. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to read this really quick. It says, the dangerous thing about never taking responsibility for what goes wrong is you never have a point of reference as to how to make things go right. You can't grow like that. Now, that really spoke to me, just because I can think of a number of times in my career and my relationships, when I was in school, from top to bottom. I can remember specific moments in my life when I had to look at myself and say, B, this is you. This is not anybody else doing anything to you. You have to overcome this within yourself. You have to become better. And I really just feel like this is one of those moments, especially those last few bars when he was talking about how you're standing in front of the Lord and you're not going to have anybody around to point the finger at. God's going to be looking directly at you and asking you, what have you been doing with the breath that he's given you? So I really enjoyed that. That's probably one of, to me, that's the high point of the album, right at the end of that verse into the part where Jay Monty starts speaking. So I really loved that line. Really enjoyed that part of the project. Now, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this recap countdown video. Feel free to go to Apple Music, Spotify, Tidal, wherever you go to buy, purchase your music, stream your music. Make sure you go type in J.Monty, Free Me, and go run up the numbers for this project. I think it's one of the best EPs of the year. You can also feel free to follow me on Twitter. I can be found at DJ_B_plus. You can also feel free to drop down in the comment section below and let me know what your favorite songs were, what your favorite beats were, and what your favorite features were as well. And we'll go down there and we'll continue the conversation down there. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video and think you may be interested in more content just like this, feel free to hit the subscribe button, the like button, and come back and see me from time to time. And once again, I am B+, and until next time, peace in, confusion out, and be positive.